this about? Fine.
Your Honor, the prosecution has offered some compelling evidence in this case. Compelling until you look at the facts objectively. If Eddie had actually stolen the motorcycle, does it make sense that he would remove his fingerprints and then leave the motorcycle in plain view in his own front yard? They have an eyewitness, Mr. Lee, who says he was looking out his store window on the afternoon of March 22nd when he saw a young male steal the motorcycle. Now, he identified the male as Eddie, but on the date of the theft, March 22nd, the low winter sun was shining directly into the windows of Mr. Lee's store, as you can see in this diagram from the Sun Tracker app. I'd like to submit this as Defense Exhibit 1. It wouldn't have been possible to see anything but a silhouette in the glare of the sun.
How can you assume that?
I visited the store 3 days later and took photos, Your Honor. Based on the evidence, there's no reason he should be in this courtroom today.
Thank you, Miss Plainview.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The court finds no grounds for a trial. Case dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Miss Plainview, I didn't see you at the parent grad brunch.
I couldn't get out of work. How was it?
Kind of boring, but your daughter looks super hot.
Okay, Steve. There you are.
Look who's finally home.
I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to the brunch.
I'm used to doing things on my own.
I really thought I'd make it, but we ran late and brought something to make it up to you. Sushi from your favorite place.
No, thanks. I'm going out with Sylvie.
Again? You two went out last night. And you came home awfully late, by the way.
It was like midnight.
It was like 4 a.m. I checked the clock.
Well, we were just hanging out at Sylvie's.
A couple of high school girls on graduation night just hanging around the house. Hard to imagine.
Well, what can I tell you? You raised a boring child.
Yo, Plain Jane.
Oh, hi, Miss Plainview.
Hi, Sylvie.
Did I leave my blue sweater here? Check my room.
I was hoping that maybe you and I could spend some time together this summer. Before you go to school, just the two of us. Between work and law school, I know I haven't been as available as I wanted to be.
It is what it is. Nope, not there. All right, let's go. Are you hanging with us tonight, Miss Plainview?
Really?
She's kidding. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Let's go.
A shocking story developing right now here at Palisades Beach, where early this morning the police discovered the body of a popular high school teacher. It's too soon to tell what the motive might have been.
Julie? Hope you didn't stay out all night. Julie? Good morning.
Hey, grab a bowl, sleepy face. I made oatmeal.
Thank you. Did you have fun last night?
Steve Geiler and his friends showed up, and they were acting like total idiots. God, Mom, they're such children. I can't wait till college.
Oh, I hate to break it to you, sweetheart, but boys don't automatically turn into men when they get to college.
So, do you want to go to yoga?
Really? You wouldn't be embarrassed to be seen with your mom?
I need a ride. And, you could use some exercise.
I'm not sure how to take that.
You deserve some you time.
Nice save.
No, you're not. Sit your ass, Mom.
Howdy.
Good morning.
Ellen Plainview?
Yes?
And this must be Julie.
Can I help you?
Detective Vicky Ogawa. My partner, Detective Hamer.
Detective Hamer.
Morning. You Julie Plainview?
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Mom?
Detective, what is this about?
Where were you the night before last? Thursday night?
I was at my friend Sylvie's house.
And you were there all night?
Yeah, I came home around midnight.
Can you verify?
Why are you asking?
Is there any reason you're not answering?
The truth is, you came in a little after 4 a.m. Now tell me why you're asking.
You know a man by the name of Gene Dutton?
Yeah, he teaches at North Shore High. He was my English teacher and my tennis coach.
And can you tell me when you were with him last?
With him?
Detective, what is this about?
I saw him at school a few days ago, I guess.
Vicky?
Julie, why don't you turn around for me?
What?
You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it.
Wait a minute, what is going on? What's happening?
Miss Plainview, your daughter is under arrest.
For what?
First-degree murder.
This is crazy. My daughter wouldn't hurt a housefly. What makes you think she killed somebody?
Enough evidence to suggest probable cause. Now, we'll explain more down at the station, and you can follow in your own car.
When can I talk to my daughter?
Shouldn't be long.
They can't question her without me present.
That's up to the detectives, ma'am.
That's up to the law. Do you honestly not know that?
You're under arrest for attempted murder, Mrs. Plainview. Security camera footage places you at the crime scene. The victim was having an affair with your husband.
This is crazy. I had nothing to do with it.
How do you plead?
I'd like to handle my own defense, Your Honor. I can't leave my life in the hands of a stranger.
Got it. You can go in now. Down that hallway, first door on the right.
Honey, what's going on? What is this all about?
Somebody killed Mr. Dutton, and they think it was me.
Why? Why would they think that?
I don't know. They said they have evidence.
This was Thursday night, right? You said you were with Sylvie Thursday night.
I was. Mommy, I didn't do it. I didn't.
I know, sweetie.
Hi, Miss Plainview. Get you anything? Coffee, water?
A water for my daughter, please.
Sure.
Where you going?
Girl wants some water.
Later. Julie, I want to ask you the same thing I ask everybody who sits in that chair. Do you have anything you want to tell me?
About what?
Well, we can start with Gene Dutton.
He's my teacher.
Well, his wife said there was a romantic interest on your part, that you'd been harassing him.
That's a lie.
Did you meet with him at Palisades Beach parking lot on Thursday night?
No.
Did you meet him at any other time during the past 48 hours?
No.
Julie, see, that's where we have a problem. Because we found your fingerprints in his car, and now we have an eyewitness that places you at the scene at the same time Dutton was killed.
An eyewitness? Who?
An eyewitness.
They're lying. I wasn't there.
How was he killed?
Stabbed in the heart.
Crime of passion.
Julie, do me a quick favor. Could you just draw a circle for me?
What is this for?
Well, we know the killer was left-handed.
I didn't kill Mr. Dutton.
Well, I happen to believe you did. Listen, girlie, you want me to get tough? You just keep acting like a jerk.
Detective, don't you ever talk to my daughter that way again.
Gene, do you mind?
Go ahead. I need to take a leak anyway.
Sorry about that. Gene's a bit old school. Still likes to play good cop, bad cop. Julie, we just want to find out what happened, that's all.
I don't know how my fingerprints could have gotten in Mr. Dutton's car. I was at Sylvie's house.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Problem is, we obtained video from a neighbor's security camera showing Sylvie Garrett's car leaving the area at 11 o'clock p.m. with 2 occupants inside. Did Sylvie leave you alone at any time that evening?
Not that I remember.
Well, we'll check it out with her, and if she confirms, then that's that.
But I can assure you that Julie has never harmed another human being in her entire life.
Well, then we should be wrapped up real quick then. Now we just need a DNA sample and we'll be all done. Okay? You can wait outside.
Don't worry, honey. I am here for you no matter what. And don't answer any questions or say anything at all until you talk to me again.
This just came in.
Thank you. Plainview. Bail is set for Julianne Plainview.
$750,000.
I don't set the bail amount. There's some bondsman flyers in the smoking area.
I'm her mother. Can't you release her to me, OR? She's just a child.
She'll be 18 in 3 months. She's a flight risk anyways.
What do you mean?
Well, we found out she booked a trip to Paris.
What?
Airline confirmed. Yeah, you can petition for bail relief at the arraignment. But you know, I'm really surprised to see you here, Miss Plainview. But I know how easy it is to lose track of your children when you're so focused on your career. Not me. I dote on my children. Because I see enough poor souls that end up messed up because mama couldn't be bothered. You change your hair, Barbara? Looks good on you.
Honey,
Mom, you have to get me out of here.
I'm trying.
They strip searched me.
I need you to stay strong for me, Julie.
When can we go home?
They won't release you without bail. They think you're a flight risk. Why do you have a plane ticket to Paris?
They were giving credit cards out at the mall, so I got one for college. You always said we couldn't afford to go to Paris, so I bought myself a gift.
When were you going to tell me about this?
Can you bail me out or what?
I'm gonna try. It's a lot of money.
What do you say? I have to spend the night here.
I'm so sorry.
All those years of law school for what? You weren't there for me then. You aren't here for me now.
Honey, I am here for you.
You probably think I'm guilty.
Never.
Hey. Calm down.
Julie!
Hey, baby, want to cuddle?
Morning, Miss Plainview. Hope it's not too early.
For what?
You know the drill. Come on. Ma'am,
What are you looking for?
where's your daughter's bedroom?
Nice knives. So you've got one missing.
What are you looking for?
Money. What do we have here? Diaries are fun. Whoa. A lot of writing. Give me a bag. Thank you very much. Yep. Diary.
Hey, detective.
What we got? Oh. Right. Daughter smokes weed.
Not that I know of.
Well, now we know.
You can file a claim for that. Have a nice day.
Case number NGC 207, People versus Julianne Plainview, murder in the first degree. Is counsel ready to enter a plea?
Yes, Your Honor. We plead not guilty.
Setting preliminary for the 7th of September. Is that satisfactory?
First, Your Honor, on the matter of bail, we request that the defendant be remanded to the custody of her mother.
That's you, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given the seriousness of this charge and the circumstances indicating that your daughter made plans to leave the country, I'm denying your request at this time.
Your Honor.
I've spoken on the matter, Counselor.
Then I'd like to affirm our right to a speedy trial and move the preliminary hearing up if possible.
How do you like it the 27th? That's 2 weeks from today.
Fine. Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case.
Are you okay?
How long am I gonna be here for?
I'm doing everything I can, sweetie, I promise. I have been through this before, Julie. I need you to trust me, okay?
But there's video showing you and Sylvie leaving the house.
Where did you go?
We went to go get food at that taco stand on 4th Street. They were closed. Why are you looking at me like that? You think I did it, don't you?
No.
You know I didn't.
I know that. But if there's anything the police are going to find out about that night, I have to know. Sweetie, I can't help you unless you're completely honest with me.
Time's up. Let's go.
Julie. Sweetie, I'm gonna get you out of here, I promise.
Ellen.
Hi, Ben.
Come in. Come on in. Yeah. Here.
Thanks. Looks like the writing is going well.
Yeah, The Wrong Woman is still my biggest seller. You ever get around to reading it?
I lived it.
So, how do you like being a lawyer?
Well, so far I've only handled minor cases, petty theft, parole violations. But now, I have a murder case.
Really?
I'm not sure I'm up to it.
You'll be fine.
Why do you say that?
It was just 4 years ago that you were wrongfully accused of attempted murder. I mean, you could have gone to jail for life, but you handled yourself brilliantly in that courtroom, and you won. I'm not worried about you.
This time, it's more serious.
No chance. Who's your client?
Julie.
Like your daughter, Julie? Little Julie?
She's almost 18. One of her teachers was stabbed to death. They found Julie's fingerprints in the car, and the victim's wife is claiming that Julie was stalking him.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Neither do I. Which is why I've come to ask for your help. I mean, I think I can handle the trial, but I would just feel so much better with some support.
During your last trial, I was a mess. I was too close, the stakes were too high. I can't do that to myself again. Besides, I'm way past my deadline for my new book. My editor's breathing down my neck.
I hope this isn't because of what happened between us.
No. No, of course not. I would say yes if I wasn't absolutely certain that you're capable of doing this. You're a good lawyer.
Sorry I bothered you.
Look, Ellen. If you're really getting to a tight spot.
Good luck with your book.
Who is that?
Ellen Plainview? Kimberly Baines. I've seen you around the courthouse, but I always assumed you were a clerk or something. I don't know why. Is this the defendant?
Yes. My daughter, Julie.
Defending your own daughter. Bold move.
All rise.
Please be seated. In the matter of People versus Julie Ann Plainview, the court finds sufficient evidence to hold the defendant to answer for the violation of Penal Code 187, murder in the first degree, and order that Julie Ann Plainview be bound over for trial in Department 24. Does August 4th work for everybody?
Fine by me.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd like to request that Julie be remanded to my custody until trial. We've surrendered her passport. She's a minor and she poses no flight risk. And I don't believe that she can reasonably be regarded as a danger to the community.
I'm willing to grant that, Miss Baines.
With the condition that she wear an ankle monitor.
I don't think that's necessary.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're going home. Do you have any idea why there was a knife missing from our set?
No.
These questions are going to keep getting harder, Julie. Jean Dutton's wife told the police that you were obsessed with him.
That's ridiculous.
Do you have any idea why she would say something like that?
Yeah, because she's crazy. Mom, she would come to school and spy on her husband because she thought all the girls were after him. She was just jealous.
Okay, but she mentioned you specifically. Why?
Why don't you ask her?
Mrs. Dutton, good afternoon. I'm Ellen Plainview.
I know who you are. What are you doing here?
Well, first of all, I want to say how sorry I am for your loss. As you know, the police think that my daughter might have been responsible for your husband's death.
It's murder.
And I'm just trying to put together the facts. Apparently, you told the police that my daughter had been stalking your husband.
That's right.
But I talked to Julie and she said it's absolutely untrue.
Her fingerprints were in his car.
Okay, but stalking?
I know what I saw. Notes in his pockets, hearts drawn in the dust of his car, flowers on his desk at school. The phone rang late at night, and if I answered, the caller hung up. He'd upset my husband. He wanted nothing to do with your daughter.
But how do you know it was Julie?
Are you blind? Do you know anything about your daughter? Of course it was her. The little tramp would come to my house when she thought I wasn't home. Oh, you didn't know about that, did you? She showed up one night when I was supposed to be at work. The look on her face when I opened the door. I know guilt when I see it.
Wait, is that it? Mrs. Dutton, Again, I'm very sorry for your loss, but if the statements that you've given to the police are based solely on assumptions...
I am done talking to you. I am working. If you come here again, I will call the police. I hope your daughter burns in hell.
Hi, Miss Plainview. What's up?
Hi, Sylvie. I need to talk to you about the charges against Julie.
Oh my God, it's horrible. How is she?
She's okay for now. We're preparing for trial, and I just need to know from your point of view exactly what happened the night Mr. Dutton died. You were with Julie at the time.
Yeah, we hung out here all night.
All night? She said you two went out.
Oh, she told you. What'd she say?
She told me the truth, Sylvie, and I hope you'll do the same.
She told you about the guys.
Yeah, I just would like to hear it from you.
They were a couple of tourist guys from France. We went down to our hangout, Tower 6.
And what did you and these boys do all night?
Just hung out. They brought snacks, and we just talked. Nobody had sex, if that's what you're worried about.
And you were there all night?
Pretty much.
Did you get their names?
Robert and Pascal. They didn't say their last names.
Did you exchange phone numbers or anything?
No, they were leaving the next day.
So there's no way to contact them?
Sorry.
I know you and Julie are very close. You're the only friend she ever talks about.
Really?
Do you know if she had any kind of relationship with Mr. Dutton?
I know Julie liked Mr. Dutton.
What do you mean?
The rumor was that he liked wild girls.
What's going on out here? You don't come to my house and harass my daughter. I don't want her caught up in your trouble.
She's a material witness in Julie's case, Mrs. Garrett.
Just because you failed as a mother doesn't give you the right to interfere with my family. Sylvie, inside right now. Go. Go. Get off my property.
I told you she's crazy. Mom, you know Mr. Dutton was my tennis coach. He gave me a ride home from practice a few times. That doesn't mean I was sleeping with him.
Did you go to his house?
Yeah, once. I left my racket in his car and I stopped by to pick it up.
Why didn't you tell me this in the first place?
So you could freak out? You hate it when I talk to any guy that's even half a month older than me.
I want to know about these French boys.
We met them at the coffee shop. We saw them later at the beach. They were totally cool, nothing happened. We just hung out.
How long were you there?
I don't know exactly. I fell asleep.
Fell asleep. Did you smoke pot with these boys? Julie, have I taught you nothing? Julie, we need to talk. Sit down.
After I eat?
We need to talk now. Sit down. They have records of text messages from your phone to Mr. Dutton.
Yeah, and they're about homework and tennis practice. So?
If you ignore me, Jean, there will be consequences. What does that mean?
I didn't send that.
Oh, Julie, please.
Mom, someone must have jacked my phone at school and sent it as a joke because I didn't send that.
Bring me your phone.
I lost it. I swear it's the truth.
Is that my journal?
They found it in your room. There's nothing juicy in there if that's what you're looking for. What? Mom, what? I didn't write this. It's in your journal. If you didn't write it, who did? I don't know. Maybe the cops. Do you know how all this is going to look to a jury? You're supposed to believe me. You're my mother. Why don't you act like it? Julie. You never cared about anything that I did. As long as I got good grades and I acted like the perfect daughter. I know you resent me because I came along when you were only 18. That is not true. Now you want to know everything about my life? We are talking about murder, Julie. Do you understand? You have to work with me on this, or you could go to prison for the rest of your life. All I want is the truth. In the end, it is the only thing that matters. You can't run from it, sweetie. So please, if there is anything you can tell me. You know what? When I'm ready to confess, you'll be the first to know.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, Steve.
Thought you could use something to brighten your day. So, how are you?
How do you think?
I know, the world's gone crazy. How could anyone think they would hurt somebody?
Hello, Steve. Flowers. How nice. We'll get these in a vase.
I saw the checks in San Diego last week. Brought you a memento. And if you guys need a character witness at the trial, I'm your man.
We just might take you up on that, Steve.
Don't worry, you're not going to prison. There's no way they're going to convict you.
How do you know that?
Because I know you didn't do it.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry to intrude.
No, you're not intruding. What's up?
Is Ben home?
You know, I think he's in the shower.
If I could just leave these here with him, it's copies of my case files, and if he could just look at them and tell me if I missed anything.
Yeah, no, I'll let him know.
The documents are important and confidential, so just make sure that Ben gets them. And if he's, too busy tonight, I totally understand. But if he wants to call me, I'll be up late, working.
I'll let him know.
Okay, thank you. And with my compliments.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
We're gonna lose, aren't we?
Honey,
I can't go to prison, Mom. I can't.
if we can just get the jury to see the truth, sweetie, you're gonna be fine. Jules, come here.
Leave me alone. It's what you're good at.
Julie, we have to leave by 8. You awake? Julie? Julie?
Julie, what? I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I was just so scared. I'm so scared.
She called me. I should have talked her out of it. I'm so sorry.
I asked you to take me away somewhere. I couldn't stand the idea of going to court and having everyone look at me like I was a murderer. But I didn't know what to do. You're all I have, Mommy.
Sweetie, we have each other, Jules. We'll always have each other.
Ellen Plainview. Wow, long time no see. How are you?
We're on our way to court.
Yeah, well, no, I heard you're practicing law now. Well, I heard you have an interesting client, too. Wow. You Plainview girls just can't seem to stay out of trouble, though. What is that? It's like it probably runs in the family. Yeah. I'm Ed Flynn. I defended your mother when she was charged with attempted murder. We won, too. Mm-hmm.
Didn't my mom have to fire you and take over the case herself?
So, I hear that you are going up against Kimberly Baines. I don't envy you that. No, that woman, well, she is a panther in suede pumps. She really is. And I have also heard that she's especially vicious when she goes up against another woman. I don't know why. Yeah, I tell you, I would really think about taking a plea if you can. You know, if you want my advice.
Get out of our way. Ben!
Hey. My sister gave me your case files. I've been up half the night reviewing them.
Your sister?
Yeah, she's in town for a seminar. I've done some background work for you, made some witness notes. I'm here to help if I can.
But your book.
It's gonna have to wait. I should have offered to help from the beginning. I'm sorry. When I saw Julie's mugshot in the case files, it broke my heart. And the fact that she would have to go through something like this, and Julie, hey, hi, I'm Ben. Do you remember me?
Of course I do.
We're gonna get through this, okay? Luckily, you have an amazing lawyer working for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel very fortunate to be able to prosecute this case before such an intelligent assembly of jurors. After examining the evidence and listening to the witnesses, I have no doubt that each and every one of you is smart enough to come to the right conclusion in this case. You and I weren't able to be there for Julie Plainview when she was in need of strong moral guidance. Sadly, neither was her mother. And it will be an act of mercy to help Julie Plainview understand what she did. And when you have learned the whole truth, it will be an act of mercy to put her where she can no longer be a danger to herself or others again. Thank you.
Miss Plainview?
Ladies and gentlemen, as you look at the evidence and listen to the witnesses, it's important to keep in mind that things are not always as they seem. The police formed their theory about who killed Mr. Dutton within hours of the crime. Everything they have done since then has been an attempt to support their initial assumption. But I ask you to examine this case with an open mind. Think critically and draw your own conclusions. Because this isn't just about which side wins. It's about the life and future of this promising young woman who, as you will see, has found herself the victim of a reckless and potentially devastating rush to judgment. Thank you. Call your first witness.
Detective Ogawa, what led you and your partner, Detective Hamer, to focus your investigation on Julie Plainview?
Just about everything. The victim's spouse reported that her husband had been the target of unwelcome attention from Miss Plainview. Luckily, her mother had her fingerprinted as part of a school safety program, and we found the defendant's prints inside the victim's car. An eyewitness positively ID'd Miss Plainview as being at the crime scene, and the texts and journal entries erased any remaining doubt.
An open and shut case.
Pretty much.
Detective Ogawa, will you please explain how it's possible to determine with certainty who actually sent a text from a given cell phone?
Well, it's not possible, but one can assume that...
Assume? Assume? Is it in your job description to assume things, Detective? Particularly when it could send a young girl to prison for the rest of her life? Moving on to the fingerprints. Do those prints found in Mr. Dutton's car offer positive proof that Julie Plainview was in that car on the night of the murder? On that night specifically?
Proof positive? I mean...
Isn't it possible that those prints were left in that car on another occasion? Perhaps when Mr. Dutton gave a favorite student a ride home from tennis practice? Days or even weeks prior?
Possible, but not...
Possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
No further questions. Detective, you submitted the journal recovered from my daughter's bedroom to the department's handwriting expert, correct?
As a matter of routine, yes.
But that expert doesn't appear on the prosecution's witness list.
We didn't feel his testimony was necessary.
In fact, the results were inconclusive, according to your report to the district attorney. And since the entry consists of simple block letters, there's no way to determine definitively who wrote the entry, correct?
We found it in your daughter's journal.
Are we back to assuming, Detective? You and Detective Ogawa arrested Julie Plainview less than 32 hours after the murder. Did you bother to question any other suspects?
There was no need.
Did you look into the victim's background to check for other possible perpetrators? Check the area for similar crimes?
What are you implying?
I'm simply asking if you performed due diligence in this case, or...
I have been on the force for 14 years, and my record is impeccable. I am not going to sit here and have my integrity impugned by you. No, not again.
It's true, Detective Hamer. I have questioned you on this stand before, and at that time, if you will recall, you suspected me of attempted murder. Do you remember the verdict in that case?
You know damn well what it was.
Objection.
To what, Miss Baines?
Never mind, Your Honor. I think we're done.
Julie?
Where are you going?
I was gonna practice yoga.
In the garage? Without your mat?
I was gonna see if it was warm enough first.
Why don't you just use the guest room?
Fine.
Mrs. Dutton, besides the late-night phone calls, the text, and the surprise visits to your house, What else caused you to suspect that Julie Plainview was responsible for your husband's murder?
Just what Gene told me himself. I went by the school one day and I saw them alone together in his classroom. When I asked him about it later, he said Julie had been paying too much attention to him and he was just trying to get her to stop.
Because he was afraid she might do something drastic.
Yes. Because he was afraid she might do something drastic.
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained.
Mrs. Dutton, would you say that your husband was in fear of his life because of Julie Plainview's dangerous obsession with him?
Yes. He was in fear of his life due to her dangerous obsession.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mrs. Dutton, you testified that you and your husband had a loving relationship.
We were very close.
But when you first talked to the police, you mentioned that you'd separated twice in the last 18 months.
We had our rough spots, like any marriage. Like yours.
Are you referring to infidelity? That's a good point. Not all husbands are faithful, are they, Mrs. Dutton? Is it possible that when you found your husband alone with a female student, that he made up that story about her obsession in order to hide his own complicity in the relationship?
Gene would never have anything to do with a girl like your daughter.
And yet, he had been reported for inappropriate behavior with a female student in his previous post in Tacoma, Washington. Isn't that correct?
That was a misunderstanding.
Isn't it true that you were jealous of the relationship that you thought your husband was having with Julie Plainview, and that's why you gave her name to the police when they were looking for someone to charge with your husband's murder?
This is absurd. I gave her name to the police because she killed my husband. This trial isn't about me.
You're right, Mrs. Dutton. This trial is not about you. It's about finding the truth. No further questions.
Your Honor, the people call Otis Pell. You've testified that you were out walking along the northeast edge of the Palisades Beach parking lot around midnight on the night of June 9th.
I was.
And what did you observe on your walk that night?
I was looking across the parking lot, watching the seagulls, when I see two people sitting in a car doing Lord knows what. And the door opens, driver comes out and falls down dead. Then the other person jumps out and runs away.
Would you be able to identify this person if you were to see them again?
Sure. I told the police. They showed me pictures of some people, and I picked her out.
And is the person you pointed out to the police here in this courtroom today?
You know she is. That's the killer right there.
To win this case, tell me about Otis Pell, the eyewitness.
Ran a dairy store for 30 years with his wife until she died. Now he watches a lot of TV.
And seagulls. You went down to the scene of the crime?
Yeah, I went the afternoon of the prelim.
But you haven't gone at night?
The eyewitness was walking along there. Did you bring your camera? Funny. Okay, let's prove him wrong. The day Julie was born was the happiest day of my life. And the scariest. You wonder how you're ever going to provide for what your child needs. Or protect her from the world. It's so hard to know what to do. And you try to think of everything. But you can't. I went to law school so I could do good things in the world and earn enough money to send Julie to college. But I didn't realize how much it was going to take me away from her.
You did what you thought was best. Julie's a smart girl.
I have to win this case.
Then let's win.
Ben, I picked up the phone 100 times to call you.
That would have been nice.
Say it's not too late for us.
I never got over you.
It's late.
Come on, let's go.
Mr. Pell, did the police tell you the type of suspects they were looking for?
Well, he said the high school teacher got killed.
So then at that point, did it occur to you that a student might be responsible?
We talked about that.
You talked about that. You and the detectives. People's Exhibit 19. Does this look familiar?
Sure. That's the pictures the police showed me. And that's the person I picked out right there in the middle on the bottom row.
But the records show Mr. Pell is pointing to Julie Plainview, the only person in this photo lineup who appears under the age of 20. In other words, the only person who looks like a high school student. This photo was taken from where you were standing that night. And you're telling us that you were able to positively identify someone at a distance of 130 feet in the dark with the only light coming from above and behind the person in question?
I got good eyes.
Okay, then can you tell us what the sign says on the post next to the streetlight? Just read it out loud.
It says when you can park.
But the records show the sign actually says no littering. But nice guess, Mr. Pell.
At this time, Your Honor, the people rest.
Sylvie, as Julie's best friend, did you ever hear her talk about any feelings she had for Mr. Dutton?
She never talked about him at all.
Now, when you first talked to the police, you told them that you were home with Julie at the time when Mr. Dutton was killed. But in fact, you and Julie left the house to meet two boys at the beach, where you stayed until approximately 4 a.m. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Will you tell the court why you lied to the police?
I knew my mom would get mad. And Julie's mom, well, you, would be mad if she found out we were hanging out with older guys. I should have told the truth.
But now you're under oath. So, will you please tell us exactly what you and Julie were doing on the night of June 9th?
The afternoon after graduation, we met these French guys. And we told them that we would be at our hangout, Lifeguard Tower 6, that night. So we were hanging out, and these guys showed up. We talked for a few hours, and I guess we then smoked some weed. And Robert and Pascal wanted cigarettes, so we went to find a place that was open. After that, they went to the airport to get a red-eye, and I drove Julie home.
But the important point is that you and Julie were together all night.
Until I dropped her off, yeah.
Your witness?
Sylvie, do you know what happens if you lie on the stand? It's called perjury, and you go to prison. I don't have to tell you what can happen to a young woman in prison. I believe your testimony was, Robert and Pascal wanted to buy some cigarettes, so we went to find a store that was open. Meaning, the three of you went to the store. In other words, you left Julie by herself for at least 30 minutes. Plenty of time to send a text to Gene Dutton, meet him in the parking lot 5 blocks away, attack the man who almost assuredly rejected her sexual advances, and rush back to the lifeguard tower.
So,
Let's see if I can get you to tell me the truth this time.
I'm sorry. I let that horrible person get to me. But the idea of prison, that's okay. You told the truth, Sylvie. I really hope that I didn't make things worse for you.
Telling the truth is always best.
Sylvie, let's go.
Dinner's almost ready. Jules, this was a hard day for me. I don't like learning things in court that I should have learned from you. If you want to stay out of prison, I need you to be completely honest with me. Is there anything else? Anything at all you haven't told me?
Well, then I should tell you about Mr. Dutton. I didn't stab him, and I didn't meet him in the parking lot that night. But I did meet him before that. We used to hang out after school and talk. He treated me like an adult. And one night, he kissed me. And I knew it was wrong. I knew it was stupid, but I let him anyway. See, that's why I didn't tell you before. I knew you would look at me like that. I can't deal with you being disappointed in me. Mom, it's worse than jail.
Jules.
You know, I thought we could stay friends. But he didn't want that. So I refused to see him. That's all there is to it.
Does anyone else know about this?
I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have told you.
Is there any way this could be related to why he was stabbed?
No. I don't think so.
Is there anything else?
No. Just that dinner smells really good.
I've known Julie since we were little, like 5. I've never seen her act violent or lose her temper or even be unkind to anyone.
Did you ever hear her express negative thoughts towards Mr. Dutton?
I've never heard her express negative feelings about anyone. The idea of her going to prison, I don't even want to think about it.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve, you served as the president of North High Science Fiction and Fantasy Club, correct?
1 year, I did.
Safe to say you enjoy stories about adventure and fantasy, heroes and damsels in distress?
Sure.
And in all the years that you knew Julie Plainview, did you ever take her out on a date?
Not really.
Why not?
I don't know, I guess it never came up.
Hey, I get it. I remember high school. You really like someone and they don't like you back. Rejection's pretty tough. But now, you have a chance to be your hero, don't you? You came here today hoping to convince this jury that Julie Plainview could never commit the crime that she's been charged with. And if you get them to vote not guilty, you'll be her knight in shining armor. You'll save her from spending the rest of her life in prison. And you would do anything to make that happen, wouldn't you, Steve?
Julie didn't do it. She couldn't have.
How do you know? How could you possibly know, Steve?
Because I'm the one who killed Mr. Dutton. I knew Mr. Dutton wanted to hook up with Julie, and I couldn't stand the idea of him taking advantage of her. So I tricked him into meeting me, and I stabbed him.
Do you honestly expect us to believe that, Steve?
I can prove it. Mr. Dutton was wearing dark jeans and a gray button-up when they found him, right? And he was smoking a cigarette, and nobody knows that he smokes cigarettes. There was an astronomy book on the front seat of his car, okay? I know because I was there. I killed Mr. Dutton, and I'm glad.
Court is in recess. Connie, would you get the DA's office on the phone?
Wait a minute. Steve said he was in San Diego.
Right. He went to go see the checks.
He was out of town the night of the murder. He couldn't have done it.
Okay, well, let the DA figure that out. Or not. It's not your job to solve their case for them. Besides, Steve might have been lying about San Diego. Maybe he did do it. You know, let's just wait and see.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
What if they believe him?
Then you'll be off the hook.
Mom, I can't let Steve go to prison for something he didn't do. Like you told me, the truth is the most important thing.
But you understand, this would mean you'd have to go back to court.
If I have to, I have to.
I'll call the DA.
Good morning, Miss Plainview. Detectives Hamer and Ogawa questioned Steve Geiler for 4 hours last night. We've decided to accept his confession and move for a mistrial.
Julie doesn't want Steve Geiler to go to prison for something he didn't do.
The kid confessed. He provided details of the murder that could only have been known to the killer.
Or someone with access to the police report. Steve was in my house. He could have read the case files. Steve told me that he was at a concert in San Diego on the night of June 9th. If you check the security cameras from the Mission Bay Arena, you'll probably find him in the crowd.
So you want me to vacate Steve Geiler's confession?
Julie thinks he was lying to protect her.
You could have just kept your mouth shut and saved your daughter. She would have been free and clear.
I might not be able to protect Julie from the world, but I will protect her from you.
My daughter's innocent.
Any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor. The defense rests.
All right. We'll hear closing arguments.
You might be wondering why there wasn't a better defense. The answer is simple. There is no defense for what she did. This emotionally disturbed young woman made a series of terrible choices, culminating in one final decision to plunge a knife into an innocent man's heart. That's it. That's all there is. The evidence shows it. Mrs. Plainview is clearly biased in favor of her daughter. But her bias has clouded her perspective. Any clear-thinking human being can look at this case and see that there is only one viable option, and that is to deliver a verdict of guilty. Guilty of murder in the first degree. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prosecution wants you to think that Julie killed Jean Dutton. And whoever really killed Jean Dutton wants you to think the same thing. But I have shown you enough reasonable doubt to acquit her. You know what? I'm not afraid to talk about this. the thing that you're all thinking about right now. Am I biased? Am I? I'm her mother. The day she was born and I held her in my arms for the first time, and any of you parents know exactly what I'm talking about. I knew I'd do anything to protect her and give her the best life I possibly could. So yes, as her mother, of course I'm biased. But as her mother, I've also had the privilege of watching her grow up. And I know that she could never hurt anybody. I could tell you childhood stories of her saving ladybugs out of our pool, or making sure that nobody sat alone on the school bus. But I don't have to. You see, we all watched Steve Geiler sit here and confess to this very crime. What a relief, right? I mean, I get to bring Julie home. But Steve had an alibi the prosecution didn't know about. It was Julie and her great big heart that insisted I come forward with it to the DA. Because I didn't want to. But I realized something. You know, our greatest duty as parents isn't merely to protect our children, but to be strong enough to set a good example, even when it's harder than you can possibly imagine. We must embody the ideals of the kind of world we want our children to inherit. A world in which integrity, strength, and truth prevail. And we hope that we've raised them well enough that when push comes to shove, they will listen to their heart and make the right choices. Julie Plainview, at the risk of going to prison for the rest of her life, made the right choice. Julie is not a murderer. She is a strong, courageous young woman with a promising future, whose fate is now in your trusted hands. So please, listen to your hearts. Because I believe that is where true justice lies. Thank you.
How long till we know, Mom?
It's hard to say. A day, 5 days.
No, I think we're going to be okay, Julie. Your mom did an awesome job. In fact, why don't I take both of you to dinner? Get away from all this for a night.
That sounds nice.
You guys go ahead. I think I'm just gonna go to bed.
I guess we're staying here.
No, Mom. Go. You deserve it. I really think I just want to spend some time alone.
I'll bring you some dessert.
Oh, wait, 1 second. I've been working on this. I found your old sketchbook in the garage.
You drew this?
Yeah. I wanted you to have something to remember me by. When I go to school. Or wherever I end up.
Julie, I could never forget about you. Not even for a minute. You are the reason my heart beats. Don't you ever doubt that. I love you so much.
I love you too, Mommy. Now go have fun. Bye.
I'm going to be kind of sad when the trial's over.
Why?
I won't get to see you every day.
Oh. We can probably think of something. Jules? You're awake?
I've been looking through the case files, and I think I found something the police overlooked. They found a homemade CD in Mr. Dutton's car stereo.
There were no fingerprints, but they made a list of songs that were on the disc. 14 songs, most of them were hip-hop.
And
Mr. Dutton hated hip-hop.
So somebody gave it to him?
Made it for him, I think.
Probably someone who had a crush on him.
If we find out who has these tracks,
We might be able to find out who the killer is.
I'll come right home. We can talk about it. No rush. I'm here. Bye, Mom.
She thinks she might know how to solve the case.
Smart girl.
Ben, this has been so nice. But I really want to get home to Julie.
I totally understand. We'll do this again sometime.
When I pray all
Hey, Mom. I told Sylvia about my theory. She said we should meet at our hangout. You know, Tower number 6. So we can talk about who else Mr. Dutton might have been seeing. I know I shouldn't leave without telling you first, but I couldn't wait. I'll be home soon. I love you.
I mean, like, I didn't know Mr. Dutton. Like, I never had a class with him or anything. Did I leave my blue sweater here? I didn't write this. He liked wild girls.
Oh, Julie.
Together of girls who might have been crushing on Mr. Dutton. And if one of those girls has the same 14 songs in her music library, then she could be the killer.
You always were smarter than me, Julie. Prettier, more popular. I know what people say. Do you only hang out with me as a charity case?
What are you talking about? You're my best friend.
Then why are you going off to college without me?
What is this about?
Don't play dumb, Julie. You're no good at it. Yes, I knew you were going to figure it out sooner or later.
Figure out what?
I love him. And he loved me. I know he did. What we had went far deeper than anything you had with him. I finally found something that was my own.
Sylvie, what are you talking about?
I was ready to run away with him. But then he made a fool of me. He said if he left with anyone, it would be you. When I heard that, I just about lost it. Call 911. When he passed out that night, those two guys got bored and left, leaving me with nothing, as usual. When I saw the text from Jean on your phone, I answered for you. I went to see him. Got him to meet me at the parking lot. I don't know why I took the knife from the picnic basket.
You framed me? No, how could you?
None of this would have happened if it wasn't for you. My whole life, I have compared myself to you. I've watched as you got the grades, the guys, the attention. Not anymore.
Sylvie, if you killed Mr. Dutton, you need to confess.
I can't go to prison. I'm not gonna let you send me there.
You don't think you're gonna get away with this, do you?
Police know there's somebody stabbing people in this area. Probably some creep.
Sylvie, please stop.
I'm sorry, Jules.
Please stop.
Julie! Mommy! Mommy can't help you now.
Mom, are you okay?
The motion for acquittal is granted, and the case against Julianne Plainview is hereby dismissed.
Whoa, Ellen! Ellen! Hold it up. Congratulations on your victory. Look what I happen to have with me. Yeah, I don't normally carry it, but anyway, I was hoping that you could, I don't know, just autograph it for me. Well, actually, it's for my niece because she's a big fan of these sort of books.
You know that I'm not the author.
But you're kind of the star of the book, so would you mind?
Have you actually read the book?
No, not yet. Here you go. Wait. Okay. Yeah, just, I don't know if you read something about me. Thank you.
Enjoy the read.
Congratulations. Hey, whoa. Hey, what is that supposed to mean?
No, I just had a great interview with Judge Tannen for the book that I'm writing about your case. When this book comes out, you are going to be a pretty popular lawyer. I hope you're ready for that.
I will be. After a little time off. I'm taking Julie to Paris before she starts college.
Ah, très bien. What's your major?
English, and then I'm gonna go to law school after that. Been inspired.
Miss Plainview, I'd like to apologize if I was testy in the courtroom. I guess my job is turning me into